25, I moved from the United States to Kenya. I incorporated a business. I bought land. I got married. I got an apartment. And then my permit was rejected. And 6 days later, after the wedding, I had to leave the country. Today, I'm sharing what I wish I knew before I relocated.
Hello guys, and welcome to the channel once again. Moving to a new country is something that everybody aspires to do, but what it takes you to stay in that country is what matters the most. And I was here on this channel with a brother from the United States the last time. We spoke about how he relocated to Kenya at the age of 26, bought a piece of land, he lives here, and he's doing so many other things here. And of course, I wanted to bring this back to you so you can hear from him how it has been for him to relocate here and to start a life here, because that's the most important thing for anyone thinking of either repatriation or relocation, right? So today I'm here with my brother Kenyon. Hello Kenyon.
How are you?
Welcome once again.
Thank you.
Shalom and blessings. My name is Kenyan. I'm here in Kenya. I settled here last year. I sold all my possessions at 25. I married my Shia here, my wife. We own land and we're building on it. Okay, a lot of people are coming out right now, and I just want to make it easier for those coming in to know what to expect as we begin to get regathered from all the nations of the earth. The Most High is doing some great things right now, and I'm grateful that He's using me as an instrument of change to be a part of it, to wake people up and to inspire them to come home.
It's been amazing having you on this channel.
Thank you.
Have you read some of the comments on your video?
Yeah, when you posted them,
Yeah.
I would scroll, I would look, and I was like, oh wow, I get a lot of love in these comments.
Yeah, and not just love, you have also inspired some other people to move.
Yeah, I saw those too. It's been a while since I looked, but yeah, I remember when you posted the interview.
Yeah.
And then subsequently the tour when we actually went to the
Sure.
And the feedback was positive, and I could see people saying, yeah, I can't wait to do this next year, or man, this is inspiring. So yeah, it made me feel good.
Sure. Most people would talk about the sugar-coated side, and there are so many things that people leave out, and that's why I wanted to have you here again. Now you're moved from a tourist to a resident. What inspired that move?
Okay, so I've been here for like 15 months.
Okay.
I moved when I was 25, turned 26 the next month, had bought the land, had met my wife here.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you. So there was a couple of things moving at the same time, and I was attempting to get a permit.
Okay.
And that process dragged on for like 3 or 4 months, and then it ended up getting rejected.
Wow.
Yeah, it was misfiled. I sought the wrong help. And there were people around me who I think could have did a better job, but they were people who were recommended to me, and I didn't take my time to do enough research between, okay, what is it that I'm trying to get, and then who exactly can help me get it. So come up to September, I married my wife. The visa was gonna expire in the middle of September.
Sure.
6 days prior to that, that's when we got married at Sheree House. Okay. But I would say maybe 2 weeks prior to the expiration, just about, that's when it was rejected. That's when I could go into my portal and see it had been rejected. So up to that point, I was faced with the prospect of, okay, do I border hop, or which I never thought I would be in a position to have to do, or do I just look for another pathway, but which may require me to take a break. Maybe I need to go back for a little bit and just go through my options, reevaluate my options. And I went with the latter. So I ended up going back in September, 6 days after we got married.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you initially came here, were your plans to relocate, though you had bought land, which means you had this feeling you wanted something to be attached to Kenya?
Yeah.
So going back, was it out of your decision or just because your visa was rejected?
It was really the visa. That was the first thing. Two, it was because I need to figure out a more permanent solution to staying here if the permit that I initially thought I was going to be able to get uh, was something I wasn't going to be able to have. So it made me, the one thing I knew I didn't want to do was just trying to leave the country and come back on another visa, because that wouldn't lead to a permanent solution. It would just be me buying more time, spending more money, and not necessarily moving progressively in a direction that could give me some gravity and stability.
Okay.
So I had to leave because I knew that when this goes past the date, a regularization is not going to do anything since the permit's been rejected. Actually, the law is if it's rejected, you can't do a regularization, which is like an extension.
Yeah.
So going back was the only option I saw myself having, and then when I went back, that's when I basically came up with the idea that I put it in my mind. Just consider enrolling at the school that your friend.
Yeah. What does it take for one to enroll in a school here?
Mm-hmm.
How is the standard and quality of education compared to what we have in the US?
Yeah.
And in terms of financing, is it more affordable schooling here compared to the quality of education? How do you find it?
Yeah, I would say that affordability is definite. It's the cost of tuition per trimester. They do trimesters here.
Yeah.
Is probably what you pay if you're maybe an in-state resident in Florida, where the tuition is really cheap for the public universities, or maybe an in-state resident at a community college with really good curriculum. You're going to be paying significantly less than if you were trying to go to maybe a four-year institution like a Michigan State or a UCLA as an out of state student than if you were going to this school. As far as so affordability is a plus. That's a green check in comparison to Western schools.
Yeah.
Curriculum is also, I would say, a check, because particularly the school I go to is accredited in the United States and here. So even the grading scale is different. I know a student who we're actually doing some group work together right now. He was telling me, he's 35. He was telling me that he went to University of Nairobi, and that University of Nairobi compared to USIU was more difficult because of the grading scale.
Yeah.
I think there's a curve, or maybe there's a bar set to where if you get a certain percentage above that, it's an A. Here it's like it's close to the American, gotta get a 90+ percentile score on any type of assignment or in a class to have an A. So, there's a lot of good professors at the school, and there's a lot of different things you could pursue at that school as far as programs. And it is well respected on paper because of the fact that it's accredited in the United States and here in the country in Kenya. So
the standard of education is similar.
Yep, at least at the school that I go to.
Yeah.
I can speak from experience and say that it's challenging, but not too challenging.
Yeah.
To get on paper.
So are there similar schools like this here aside the USI? Are there other similar schools that people can enroll in if they ever think of moving down here?
There's one I can think of.
Okay.
I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but it's an international school.
All right.
But I can advocate for the one that I go to.
Okay.
To say it's a good choice if if you're looking for another way to come, and you're not particularly what you'll call an investor with those kind of funds, or you don't want to take a loan out to prove you got that. It's a lot of requirements when you do an investor's pathway. So going to school may be a better option for you, which can lead to working for a company here, which can lead to getting your residency at some point.
Okay. So let's talk about getting the residency, applying for the school, getting the admission, and then the residency. Yeah. What are some of the hurdles you encountered during this period?
Yeah, I think the one thing that I was struggling with was just sort of wrapping my mind around how do you get enrolled to a school here, coming from like America, if you're not here, or because at the time I had been back in the United States getting paperwork together, right? Stuff I would have assumed, okay, this is going to be needful. Transcripts from high school, any transcripts on parchment that from college, like any scores I had or grades I had from previous classes that I took and finished. Birth certificate, I think I have a birth certificate. It was basically, how do you get this stuff over to them? How do you, when they receive it, do they give you feed? Like how does enrollment work across the country? And they give you instructions online, but what happened was I submitted some paperwork and I hadn't heard back from anybody. And that's when an attorney, an advocate, the best firm in Kenya, I would say, I've dealt with like four advocates since I've been here since last year, but he's connected at the top and he's very professional. He's like a friend. But Mike, this is his name, Mike, he called me from the States and he basically helped me kickstart this by, having people in his office run up to campus to talk to administrators so they could pull my file, look at my, my test scores, my SAT scores, my GPA, like my transcripts, all that kind of stuff, and then get me inundated so I could actually be enrolled. Yeah. So then by the time I would come back, I could just go to orientation and start school.
Okay.
The problem, I wouldn't say the problem, but the challenge, it really was just like, okay, how do you do this and who do I talk to? And this, what I've done already translate well over to this university, or is it like I got to start over? Those things that you just, you don't really think off the top of your head unless you're planning for it. I feel like you're on a pathway and people are helping you, are guiding you when you're at a young age. I'm going to go to school in some other country.
Sure. So in terms of the visa, student visa, how long did it take you?
That was like the most anxious time I feel like in my life, because the rejection made the process, I believe, take longer than it would have had I not had that rejection. And that was probably about 6 months. 6 months because there was just a lot of work dealing with my past mistake in order to get this one through without having any issues.
Sure.
What happens is that the school is actually they're the ones who are taking care of that for you. But in my case, because there was more going on with my application,
there was complication already from the initial.
Yeah, exactly. I had to have the help that I had. Yeah. But I ended up getting, by the grace of God, I got this stuff done. So it took me about 6 months, and then it's issued, and then I was able to get my biometrics, get my face, my picture taken for my ID, and then we're in the wind. But it took me 6 months, and I've been in school for about 6 months.
Yeah. So
2 semesters. So
now you have the paperwork. Yeah. So what are the benefits of having this paperwork after you get it? Now you're student and residency.
Yeah. The benefit is, as opposed to being in the country on a 90-day visa, is you don't have the anxiety of, in 90 days, I need to leave, or by 90 days, I need to have an extension and I need to pay more money. Number two is you have the potential to do things like get a driver's license, go to driving school for a month, pay the money, go and then pass your test, get a driver's license issued to you legally, open a bank account legally, personal bank account. Yeah. Okay. The permit lasts longer, in my case, 2 years, and it can be renewed if you're still in school. These things are the things that are gonna make you feel like you're actually settled and stable in a country and not just on a long-term visit. Those are the things that I think are like the greatest benefits. And that's the weight I felt lifted off my shoulders. Because again, my wife is here. She's from here. She lives here. Land is here. My dreams, my hopes, everything is here. Yeah. So what's gonna help me stay here? And in this case, it was finishing my education. So
does this visa allow you to come in with your family if you had a family out of here?
It depends. I think so. Here's the process is if I'm here as a student, and let's say I came here and I have a wife or kids, and they're from the United States, right? They would probably, unless you were here, and all of you were basically going to school, like you and your wife both going to school. I'm pretty sure that the wife would have to have a dependence pass or some type of permit herself to validate her presence. It's not something where the dependence pass is actually intended for if you have a Kenyan spouse. So generally, if you go on the website where it gives you a comprehensive breakdown of what each permit is for, a dependence pass is going to be for if you marry somebody who's from the country and you yourself cannot earn income.
Yeah.
So you're saying that you're dependent on your spouse to stay here. And generally people say that that's not something that a man could ever do, come in here,
Sure.
especially from a Western country, saying he's living
Yeah,
off his wife.
but have you ever asked that question maybe to your attorney or to the school?
That's something I would have to ask them, because I don't think that would be a student pass wouldn't be the way. For this one, there's the student pass is very straightforward, where it's the pass is being issued to you for that student specifically with that ID number and the evidence from the school that they're attending, and there's no
In the form, there is no place where you are writing as an applicant that you put you're married, you have a spouse, you put your spouse name or something.
Definitely. So I did have that, where they would give you your marital status,
Yeah.
you know, if you're married or if you're single,
Sure.
and then they would ask for some additional information, their name,
Yeah.
their nationality, but it didn't necessarily connect to anything more than wanting to know for their records as it pertained to me,
Mhm.
not necessarily on any benefits being extended to them. Now through the school, there was one benefit that I saw. This is when I was applying, and I thought it was something that maybe would be able to work out for both of us, and it was like if we both wanted to attend.
Yeah.
And I think if both of us are attending school again,
Yeah.
then we both would get our separate passes respectively, and then we could
Okay.
actually go, and then we would be able to stay just because we both have our passes. But I don't
Yes.
think that they have any kind of I know with immigration, there's nothing presented that says if you come as an individual
Yeah.
to study, that if you already have a family, they can come with you and legally reside here.
All right.
Yeah, nothing like that I've seen.
All right.
Yeah.
So how was it for you integrating? Should I say, are you integrated right now?
I mean, I eat with the locals. I go to the butcheries. I buy fresh produce. I use M-Pesa. I write the matatus. I write the bodas. I would say I'm pretty integrated. I just don't speak Swahili, but everything else, for the most part, that I could think of, I do it like maybe any local would do.
Yeah, because listen, I've seen a lot of people come in here and return back and feel either, should I say, duped, robbed, scammed after they leave, and there are some certain things that they didn't know when they moved in. And you came the first time, you had a bit of your own issues, and then you went back.
Yeah.
What are some of these things that people who don't want to integrate, because you need to integrate to have a smooth life, what are some of these things that you feel if you had known the first time you came, probably you wouldn't have even have to go back in the first place?
Yeah, what I would have done is differently is I would have, number one, made sure to get the right legal help before even like getting on the plane, just to have something in process.
How does one know the right legal people?
You gotta do your research. You have to have that question within you of what's the right way to go about doing this. I would seek out an immigration attorney.
Okay.
Immigration attorney or a consultant who can connect you with those right people. Even the schools, I mean, that's something I do. So I mean, that's something if you ever reach out to me when to book a consultation, we can definitely help you with that. But when it comes to what I would have done differently, I would have sought somebody like me to help me get to kickstart it the right way.
Yeah.
I'm glad I acquired the land. There's a lot of things I'm happy I got accomplished, but the way I did it, I think it added more stress than it had to. So I would have had an attorney help me first go through all the options. And if they didn't seem like if I didn't get a lot of confidence, if I just discerned this person wasn't giving me everything or just didn't, oh, this isn't what I want to hear, I would ask another attorney. I wouldn't spend $300-$400 on just consultations with different attorneys, but I would at least, like I said, try a couple. Look at their reviews, see who does this right. Go on Google, go to Nairobi, pan over to Nairobi on Google, type in advocates. I'm typing advocates, the first 10 that pop up, look for advocates, which are attorneys. It's just different terminology, who do immigration.
Yeah.
Look around, click on the different ones, look at the ratings, look at the reviews, read what the people are saying, and then start inquiring.
Yeah, but these days, a lot of people even pay to get reviewed.
Yeah.
They make their family members, their friends to give them reviews. So how do you know a genuine
You gotta
turn into immigration.
You gotta go on WhatsApp. You gotta take these numbers, pick up the phone, call them, and talk to them yourself. The reviews are just something that may lead you to the right person.
Sure.
But you have to do your own due diligence and call and cross-reference and ask questions that are open-ended. So they have to give you an explanation, and then you do it again, and you do it again before you even pay any money for a consultation. You ask them some preliminary questions, some probing questions, and you compare notes. And then for me, again, I would say pray, seek the Most High. Let the Holy Spirit guide you and tell you who to trust and who not to.
Sure.
But that's what you do.
Yeah.
And then once that's in process and you have the right person and they're getting you going, whether it's for a permit as a student or otherwise, because everybody's situation is different. Some people are in a position where they can, they got bank statements and things they can use to, so maybe I'm doing a business, whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
But get that sorted out first.
Okay. Let's talk about day-to-day life.
Okay.
You talked of now you jumped the matatus. How was it the first time you came?
Yeah, so initially when I came, if I had to get places, I was used to doing Ubers. All right. And the Ubers were relatively cheap, I thought.
Compared to what you would pay in the US.
Yeah, compared to what you pay for Ubers in the US. Although I drove all my 20s and the latter end of my teens, so I didn't even know what driving Ubers was really like for a while.
Okay.
Unless I was in another state and I was like traveling and doing Ubers, rarely. But those cheaper Ubers add up when you're doing 2 rides a day, 6 to 7 days a week for 2 months. All right, so you're talking about you're spending hundreds of US dollars a month. This isn't including food. This isn't including where you're sleeping and any other activities that you're doing. You're spending a lot of money just Ubering around.
But most of the people who come to this from the States and they make content over here, they always try to show us they jump Ubers. So it's like you were just broke. You couldn't just afford it. Yeah, because for them, they jump them.
Ubers.
Yeah, they jump Ubers. They show us the videos, they jump Ubers. So for you're saying jumping Ubers? No, it's a bit expensive.
It adds up over time when there are better alternatives, especially if you're here with, like for me, you have a savings, you've got supplemental income because you consult, you've got people who maybe occasionally want to like reach out and help you. Here's $100. People on YouTube get donations.
Okay.
Or people who just get donations. Their family wants to help them. If you're not working, like in America working, and you don't have a consistent income, or you're not doing online, and you're here, you gotta think more conservatively from the beginning. Take the bus, take a bike if it's a short distance. If you trust riding a bike, take a matatu. Pay less than $1 to go several kilometers or miles from one place to another. That's the way that you really conserve cash. You spend a fraction of what you spend in a month getting around, and where else can that money go? The rest of the money that you save.
Yeah. And then in terms of feeding.
Exactly.
We ate at the mall the first day I met you.
Yeah, man.
We actually ate at the mall.
Yeah.
And we paid over $10 each for a meal.
Exactly. And you think that's a deal, but I mean, yesterday, I don't remember how the whole day went, but I remember yesterday I ate breakfast and I ate lunch and I ate dinner out, and I spent the equivalent of like maybe $6.50
for all 3 meals.
Yeah, these are square meals. These are square meals, and they're healthy and they're good. There's meat in the meal. It's good food. But it's at the local joints.
Yeah.
All right, but I spent 10 on one entree.
Yeah.
And it didn't. I mean, it was good, but it wasn't like any different in terms of how much it filled me up than the food that I ate out here.
Yeah.
Which is more organic, and again, it was cheaper. So those are things where you say, okay, that's just one time. But if you're gonna live here and you're gonna get settled here, for me, I can actually calculate my money because I know by a certain period in time, I'll be working towards residency. So I'm counting backwards. So if I'm counting backwards, I'm saying, okay, for this much span of time until I can move on to this next juncture, I have this much money to work with. So I simply just need to budget this much money up until I reach this point. And when I reach this point, I can apply for residency. When I apply for residency, I don't gotta worry necessarily as much about where am I gonna get money if I'm not making money or can't budget my money because I can do business legally. So there's a lot of things that you can do, but you have to be willing to, put some old ways away, sacrifice some things,
Yeah,
and go.
there's nothing wrong in having pleasure or eating in a 5-star restaurant or a diner. But once you do it once in a while, you save a lot of money.
Yeah.
And not only save, you have a decent life while you're here instead of putting yourself under pressure.
Yeah.
So we used to live somewhere the last time you were here, and now you decided to move here. What's the difference, convenience, and what lessons did you learn from that lifestyle? Because now you have a home, and unlike there, you had a house that you pay rent. Now you have a place that you call home. What was the difference? What lesson did you pick from that?
The first apartment that I had after I left the Airbnb, I was staying in. Stayed at the Airbnb too long, but I found an apartment, and when I was at that apartment, I was there for my first three months. It was nice, but it wasn't. I mean, again, it wasn't by the school. It wasn't really, and it cost a little bit more than here, and I was renting furniture too.
Yeah,
because I didn't realize, man, you're gonna have to go out there and buy some furniture and really set up. You want to save some money and really get going here. I wasn't really sure about the place. I think that's another reason why I kind of hesitated to buy furniture, because I'm thinking, okay, how do I move it? They don't have you all here. All these ways of thinking that kind of just made something that could have been quicker and more swift and more affordable and more manageable at that time, more difficult and more complicated and more heavy of a burden. So I was there. I was the first person living in that unit. I was spending way more money than I should have been spending, not just on rent to be in an area like that, but also just on the amenities that I had. And by amenities, I'm talking about in my apartment, meaning the couch I had, the bed, all of that stuff.
Well, all rented.
All rented, which is usually supposed to be transitional. You're not supposed to have that stuff long term. You're supposed to have it until maybe if you have furniture comes. Yeah. Whether it's abroad, if people do stuff like that. Sure. If you really got it like that, you do it. Or if you buying stuff locally. Yeah. To fill the space and to have something to lean on or to sit on or to sleep on until those things arrive. So that was a waste. I mean, it wasn't a waste. I did make some, I enjoyed the furniture. Sure. And even the person who rented, Colette, I shout out to her. She was really, really helpful, because even when I returned the furniture and bought my own, she gave my whole deposit back. Even within the window of time where she didn't have to. But she understood I was learning and growing and getting things together, and she just wanted to help me. So bless her heart. But that was the process for me. And then I shifted to another apartment. Cheaper, had some of my own furniture. Okay. My wife helped me get some things on GG and along the road. Yeah. But the place wasn't really that comfortable. Way off the main road, just not somewhere I felt the most comfortable. I could live with it. We could endure certain things for greater goals. Sure. In a man's world, we can stand up, but it just wasn't something I think was best for me. It wasn't where I think the most I wanted me to be. It was just something that I was willing to do to keep moving, because at the time I'm still waiting for my permit. Once I get this permit, my mind can shift to the next thing and we can keep on going. The second place just wasn't very comfortable. The next place was actually where I was up until this semester started. Okay. And it was in Regal, which was actually pretty nice, but it was a long distance, and it was just, I think the distance was the problem, and then the landlord was kind of, we dealt with a lot of landlords. So where I'm at now is wonderful. It's green, it's walking distance from school. My wife can get to work without, it's further, but it's again, the way she can get to work, taking the bike and then taking the bus, it's a straight shot. So it's just a bit more approximated to our lifestyle, what we're doing, than what we were even before. Okay. So overall, if someone is trying to come here, because the idea of this video is for you to have learned from his mistakes, to get to know where he is, if you have watched the last videos. And if you have not watched the last videos, why not go check this video, which I'll be pinning here, or you check this other video, which he took me to see his property, because this is a continuation, and I hope to one day come
to Kenya to also interview him about how established he has become going through the process. For us in life, every step is part of the journey. It's part of the story, whether it's been good, it's been bad. At the end of the day, the people you met, the unforeseen circumstances that surround every situation around you were just part of your bigger story. So if you've not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe, because we're heading to 10,000 subscribers. And here on this channel, we travel to experience places, people, and events and share them with you. So if you're not subscribed to Thrybe, join the Thrybe. And of course, I have channel membership. And on this channel membership, you support me to enable me travel more places and tell more stories like this. So Elway, overall, this is just the beginning, because we're hoping to do more videos with you. Yeah. In fact, Elway is going to be on this channel more often, because we have something we will be carrying along, and I'm sure you want to see more of those videos. So what, at the end of the day, is the lesson that you've learned from all of this that you would like to share with our viewers?
Yeah, I would say the number one thing is that patience is a virtue, and it's something that you have to have. It can be really exciting. Just the thought of I'm about to go back to the continent, to the motherland, Africa, however you would describe this place, and you come and you see everything that there is to see. And I'm talking about I've lived it, and I've also had people who've come who I've hosted, and they've come and they've had the same thoughts. Oh, it's so affordable. Oh, the food is so affordable, it's cheaper, or it's so tasty, and oh, look at the giraffe. Oh, you see the zebras. Oh my gosh, I want to live here. The people are so humble and nice. Oh, the women are so beautiful. It just goes on and it goes on and it goes on. But if you come here and you don't come here with clear intentions and motives and purpose driven, you'll find yourself in a difficult situation really fast. You know, I think there's a lot of things you can get sucked into landing in Nairobi, of all places. All right, so from top to bottom, there's a lot of things to love about being here, especially if you are in the diaspora. If you're a Negro, you come here and you see things, and you just feel connected to the people, to the land, and to the prospects of the future. And I can understand that if you're coming, come with a plan, and come with as much of a soft landing as possible by consulting the right help. I'm willing to be that person, so feel free to reach out to me. My WhatsApp details, they'll be down in
the descriptions.
And then yeah, I would just say that patience is the key, and discipline, and everything that you learn in the place that you are coming from, bring that over here and put it into practice, because it's going to be necessary. And I think that's the extent of it. That's the main thing I can say above everything else. Be patient and do this methodically as possible.
Great.
Also, shout out to my mother.
Mama's boy.
Yeah, two women. My wife, obviously, my greatest supporter, but my mother as well. I want to give her a big shout out, because the journey would not have gone this way had she not been right behind me, standing with me, helping me in more ways than I can even explain, encouraging me. So I love you, Mom. Shout out to you. And of course, like I said, shout out to my wife. I love you, Esty.
This is an experience from someone who has traveled, encountered, and now sharing with you. And if you want to see more videos like this, just like I said, subscribe. And if you need first-hand consultation with someone who has gone through the process, look no further. His details will be left in the description, and of course you can reach out to him to help you. But if you don't and you fall into a trap, that's your issue, because many have told stories, but there are so many people even like him. Find a trusted person. I'm not just trying to say find him, but I'm just saying find a trusted person. I know I can trust him, and that's why I can put his link so that you can check out on him. But if you have your own thoughts, find a trusted person. And until next time, we'll see you again on another video.
Kenyan.
And this is Thrybe, where every voice matters. See you on the next one.
Show me
Bye.
blessings. Peace.